I swear, I still don't understand what he meant. I've been replaying that conversation in my head all morning, every single syllable. It's truly baffling.
Oh, really? About the big project deadline? The one we just pushed through with barely an hour to spare?
No, not the project. This was something else entirely. Something far more insidious. It was about that call, the one I mentioned yesterday.
When who called, Alex? You sound genuinely rattled. Your coffee cup is trembling slightly. Is this serious?
Chris called me yesterday. And honestly, Emma, I haven't slept properly since.
Chris? Which Chris are we talking about now? We seem to have a small army of Chris's floating around here these days. Be specific.
Our Chris, the one from accounting, the one who handles all the inventory stuff, the supply chain, the budgets. You know, that Chris.
Oh, the Chris from accounting. Chris Davis. Wait, when did he call you? I thought he was out all this week. On a highly anticipated trip.
Yesterday morning, right around 10, I think. My phone buzzed on my desk, a number I didn't immediately recognize, but it was him. His voice.
Yesterday? No, I don't think he called you yesterday, Alex. That can't be right. I was certain he was already gone. I thought you meant Chris Miller from marketing.
Why would I mean Chris Miller from marketing? We never talk about him. He's usually pretty quiet, keeps to himself, always has his headphones on.
Well, you know, he's always saying confusing stuff too, sometimes. He has that dry wit that sometimes just lands wrong, or he uses a turn of phrase that only he understands.
Okay, fair point. But no, this was absolutely accounting Chris. Chris Davis, the one with the spreadsheets. He called me, and he said something that just sent a chill down my spine, a genuine shiver of dread.
A chill? Like what, Alex? Don't leave me hanging here. My curiosity is piqued, and now I'm worried.
He said, and I quote, "I'm going to need you to move those by tomorrow, or else." Word for word, I can still hear his tone.
Or else what? Alex, that's incredibly vague and utterly unsettling. What kind of corporate threat is that?
Exactly, that's precisely what I asked him. I said, or else what, Chris? What are you implying? And he just hung up. Click, silence, no explanation, nothing.
Wait a minute, he said that to you? Directly? That sounds completely out of character for Chris Davis. He's usually so by the book, so precise.
Yes, straight to me, my personal line, not even an email, just a direct, ominous phone call.
But I thought he was on vacation this week. He told me he was definitely going. He had it marked on his calendar for months.
Who, Chris Davis? No way, he was at his desk. I could hear the office chatter in the background, the hum of the copier. It was unmistakably our office.
Accounting Chris. My Chris. The one who handles the spreadsheets and the supply orders. The one who meticulously plans his holidays.
Your Chris? He's everyone's Chris, Emma. And no, he's absolutely not on vacation. He sounded stressed, not relaxed. His voice was tight, almost accusatory.
He definitely told me he was going to Aruba. Like, he showed me pictures of the resort, the infinity pool, the white sand beaches. He was so excited about it.
When did he tell you that? Are you sure you're not mixing up your conversations, or perhaps even the Chris's themselves?
Like, last Tuesday, we were talking about travel plans during lunch. He even mentioned needing a new pair of swim trunks for the trip.
Huh, well, he was definitely at his desk yesterday. Sounded like it anyway. Maybe his plans fell through at the very last minute? A flight cancellation?
Are you positive you're talking about the right Chris, Alex? This is starting to sound a little bit like a spy novel, or a very bad episode of a sitcom.
Of course I'm positive. Chris Miller. Tall guy, glasses, always wears those incredibly bright blue shirts. He's hard to miss in a crowd, practically glows.
Oh, no, Alex. Oh, dear, that's Chris Davis. You're describing Chris Davis perfectly. Down to the blue shirts.
Is it? Are you absolutely certain? My brain is starting to spin here. The Chris's are all blurring into one terrifying, cryptic entity.
Yes, Chris Miller is the short one with the beard who works remotely. The one who sends us those incredibly detailed, very polite emails with 5 paragraphs of explanation.
Oh, wow. Okay, my bad. My profound, embarrassing bad. I've completely mixed them up. My apologies to all Chris's.
So, Chris Davis called you. The tall one. The inventory manager. The one who takes his job with a level of seriousness usually reserved for brain surgeons.
Right, Chris Davis. The tall one. The blue shirt guy. My unwitting nemesis for the last 24 hours. The source of my sleepless night.
And he said, I'm going to need you to move those by tomorrow, or else. This is still quite a dramatic statement, even from Chris Davis.
Yeah, what on earth do you think that means from Chris Davis? Now that we've established which Chris we're dealing with, the context might change everything.
Well, Chris Davis is, as we've established, in charge of inventory. He probably meant the new shipment of office supplies. The big boxes that arrived yesterday, remember?
The the paper, the reams of copy paper, the mountain of white, pristine paper that's currently blocking the emergency exit.
Probably the paper. We ran out yesterday afternoon, remember? Everyone was complaining. The copier was making those sad, empty noises.
Wait, I just remembered something else, something crucial. I did get a text from Chris Miller last week. The short one, the remote one.
Oh no, what did he say? Please tell me it wasn't another cryptic message from a vacation destination.
He said, Aruba, baby. See you in 2 weeks. Send me pictures of the office chaos if you want to make me laugh.
See? I knew it. I knew he was on vacation. My memory isn't completely shot, despite what you might imply.
So Chris Miller is definitely on vacation. Sipping something tropical, probably a brightly colored drink with a tiny umbrella.
Yes, absolutely. Probably has a little umbrella in his drink right now, and not a care in the world about office supplies.
And Chris Davis called me about the paper. The mountain of paper. The paper blocking the fire exit.
Sounds about right. It's always about the paper with Chris Davis. He guards it like treasure, like it's his personal gold reserve.
Oh man, I feel a bit silly now. A wave of profound, utterly ridiculous silliness just washed over me. The relief is almost overwhelming.
No, it happens. Honestly, we have far too many Chris's in this building. It's a genuine problem for clarity in avoiding workplace panic.
It really is. I spent all morning trying to figure out what else meant. My mind went to all sorts of dark, corporate espionage places.
What kind of dark places? Did you think you were being fired for some unknown transgression? Or accused of theft?
Worse, I thought I had accidentally ordered too many staplers or something, causing a massive, unrecoverable financial crisis for the company. Or maybe offended a key client with an offhand remark. I imagined lawsuits.
No, just a paper crisis. A very tangible, very white, very blocky paper crisis. A crisis of reams.
A paper crisis. That's actually pretty funny now that I know what it means. The sheer absurdity of it.
It is. A common, everyday office drama, magnified by mistaken identity and an overly dramatic inventory manager.
But wait, what if Chris Davis didn't mean paper? What if he meant something else entirely? My gut is still a little unsettled, a tiny knot of doubt persists.
Oh, Alex, don't start this again. We just solved the mystery. Don't create a new one out of thin air. Let's embrace the simplicity.
No, seriously, what if those wasn't paper? What if it was the old files? The ones we were supposed to archive and shred last week?
The old files are digital now, remember? We finished that massive project last month. No physical files left to move, not a single dusty box.
Oh, right, yeah, good point. My memory is clearly not my strong suit today. I'm operating on about 2 hours of panic-induced sleep.
See? Just paper. Just a very urgent, very large, very essential stack of paper that needs to be moved from point A to point B.
So I need to move the paper. The monumental task of relocating hundreds of pounds of white paper. My back already hurts.
Yeah, probably. Before Chris Davis sends out another cryptic, threatening message, or perhaps even shows up at your desk with a forklift.
Okay, well, that's much less dramatic than what I'd envisioned. No international espionage, no corporate downfall. Just manual labor.
Definitely. No, or else, needed for that, I hope. Unless the else is running out of paper for the entire building, which would indeed be catastrophic.
You never know with Chris Davis. He takes his paper inventory very, very seriously. It's his kingdom, his domain, his entire world.
He does. He absolutely does. He once gave me a 20-minute lecture about the proper way to recycle cardboard boxes, complete with diagrams.
So, my entire confusing conversation was just me confusing two different people named Chris, both of whom have very distinct personalities.
Pretty much. A classic case of mistaken identity. A workplace comedy in the making, really. One that could have ended in actual tears.
I'm glad we cleared that up. My brain was starting to hurt from all the frantic speculation, the endless loops of what if.
Mine too, a little bit. For a second there I thought you were going to tell me you'd accidentally offended Chris Miller while he was still here.
Oh, man, that would have been even worse. Imagine the office drama, the passive-aggressive emails, the thinly veiled complaints to our.
Right? And he's so sensitive, bless him. He takes everything so personally, even innocent comments about the weather or the color of his shirt.
He really is. He would have stewed about it for weeks, probably even months. Written a lengthy, multi-page memo about workplace etiquette and respect.
And then come back from Aruba even more stressed, convinced everyone was secretly plotting against him, instead of enjoying his well-deserved break.
Exactly. So, a close call, I guess. A bullet dodged, in more ways than one. Saved me from a paper crisis and a Chris Miller crisis.
Very close indeed. Just a classic case of mistaken identity and a dash of office paranoia, all wrapped up in one confusing phone call.
Yeah, but it's like, why do we have 3 Chris's in this one department? It's genuinely inefficient and a breeding ground for confusion.
I know, and they all start with C. Chris, Christian, Christine. It's a linguistic trap, a phonetic minefield, waiting to trip us up.
That's why I just call them by their last names now. Or at least I try to. I need to make that a firm, unwavering rule for myself.
Good policy. I should absolutely adopt that. It would save a lot of potential confusion and awkward, lengthy explanations.
Yeah, it avoids situations where you're terrified you've angered the inventory manager over some ambiguous, or else, statement about those.
Honestly, I still can't get over that. Or else. For paper. It's so unnecessarily dramatic, so utterly theatrical.
I know. What was the else? Did he think I'd just let the office run out? Did he envision a paper famine? A complete collapse of our printing capabilities?
Maybe he just likes a bit of mystery. Keeps things exciting for himself. Adds a little spice to his otherwise very orderly, very predictable day.
Well, it kept me exciting. My heart was pounding for a while there, my palms were sweaty. I was imagining the worst-case scenarios, truly.
I can imagine, thinking you'd messed up something huge, something irreversible, something that would land you in front of a disciplinary committee. The weight of corporate doom.
Yeah, and all because of a common first name. Such a simple, mundane thing causing so much stress and internal turmoil.
A very common first name. A name that clearly needs to be retired from new hires here. Perhaps we should implement a no duplicate first names policy.
I'm just relieved it's nothing serious. The weight has lifted from my shoulders. My entire posture feels lighter, less hunched.
Me too. No looming office disaster. Just paper. The ever-present, mundane need for paper, in vast quantities.
Just paper. I'll go move it right after this. Before Chris Davis sends out a search party, or perhaps even a strongly worded memo.
Good plan. Maybe put a sticky note on it. For Chris Davis. Moved as requested. No, or else, required. Mission accomplished.
I might just do that. Or maybe just paper. Handle with extreme caution. Contents. Potential corporate crisis.
That works too. Just make sure it's abundantly clear what it is and who it's for.
So, Chris Miller is definitely safe in Aruba then? Enjoying the sunshine, the calm, the complete absence of office drama?
Yes, definitely safe. Sunscreen and all. Probably sending us postcards of palm trees and turquoise waters, just to rub it in.
Good. I hope so. He deserves a break from all of our office shenanigans and the constant potential for miscommunication.
You worry too much, Alex. About Chris's, about paper, about vague threats and potential disasters.
I do, especially about vague, or else, statements from inventory managers. They really get to me. They tap into my deepest fears.
Well, at least you know the source of the threat now. It's not a mystery anymore. The monster under the bed is just paper.
True, and it's just paper. Nothing more, nothing less. Just a lot of heavy paper.
Just paper. The backbone of our administrative existence.
Right, just paper. Don't remind me. I still have to physically move it. My back is already anticipating the strain.